Welcome, race fans, once again here to Virtual Racing Network on a Tuesday night, the night before Halloween. Of course, Racecore wishes you a happy Halloween. We thought we had their little image they were going to give out. It was a cool little pumpkin with the Racecore logo on it. I thought we had it in here, but we got so busy working on overlays and stuff, I forgot to get it in here. I guess I could have sworn it was in here, but regardless, Racecore and VRN want to wish you a happy Halloween tomorrow night as we are off the rest of the week till Sunday. We come back to Racecore once again, but before we get into all that, we need to thank the sponsors that make this race possible. Of course, general sponsors here for tonight's race are Dan Butler Designs, Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, iRacing Drivers World, and of course, Global Building Contractors. Make sure you check these guys out. Check out all these great partners excuse me, on their respectable Facebook pages and websites. Make sure you support them and thank them for what they do here to bring this series to you here tonight. And of course, on the broadcast side of things, we wouldn't be here for 2018 if it wasn't for the following partners. Walls Beard Co. a Beard Balm. If you are a gentleman, you need to take care of that beard. There's no better way to do so than with some Walls Beard Co. a Beard Balm, all natural and organic products. Make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com. SimSpeed Shop, your one-stop shop for custom-made button boxes and e-brakes here for tonight's race, so make sure you do check them out at simspeedshop.com. Pick up one or both of those items today. Northwest Racing Series, your official one-to-go sponsor here for tonight's race, as well as we broadcast them on Monday and Wednesday night. Of course, we are not going to be broadcasting this Wednesday night, as it is Halloween, so we are off. We will come back. I believe we're at Sonoma when we come back, so road course when we come back from Halloween break. So we'll be looking forward to seeing that. Definitely going to be a good track. I believe that is where they're at. We'll have to clarify that later on. Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to get into some IndyCar racing, there is no better place to do so than Ohio IndyCar League. Make sure you check them out to get all the latest information at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. And last but not least, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphic source. Actually talking to Jason Allison from iBog literally moments before we started this broadcast. So we are starting work on some brand new overlays. So we'll be debuting those here shortly, hopefully. We'll see how progress goes on those. You can get into broadcasting if you need some overlays, of course. There is no place to go than iBog. You can head on over to ibog.co to get started, or if you just stream and need to pull some information from iRacing, you can do so with those overlays as well. You can get a hold of Jason Allison over at ibog.co. That being said here, we are just moments away here, about 2 minutes away from getting this thing started. First, we got to go through the national anthem, so we're going to go ahead and step away and get ready for that. When we come back, we'll go through your race analysts here for tonight, as well as who is going to be wearing qualifying. So we'll be right back here momentarily with qualifying, followed by your 120 lap race coming up later tonight.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back here for qualifying here momentarily. We will have Chris White, our second chair here in the booth. He is getting here off work, so just now getting to the racetrack, but he will be here momentarily as I do see him getting in here. So we'll go ahead and pull him down to the booth. So while you're loading in there, Chris, welcome back to the booth.
Yeah, great to be back. Sorry, a few minutes late here.
Oh, you're just in time. They're just now hitting the track here for qualifying. So actually, nobody's even put in the time. So you are just right on time.
Awesome. I should be in the track. Is it Las Vegas?
It is indeed Las Vegas here. So we're going to see. We're predicting here for 120 laps, 180 miles. We're getting the word 28 to 30. Laps worth of fuel, so it's Las Vegas. Somebody's got to gamble here. Maybe try to conserve and maybe sneak it out to 31 laps. It's going to get very interesting to see if anybody does try to make that gamble as times are coming in. And it's going to be Clarence Bonner that puts in the fastest time with a 30.071, but then Alex Huffman with a 29.943. So times are starting to come in.
Yeah, Las Vegas definitely a place to gamble. You ain't doing it right unless you're gambling. And track position is key. Tires, fuel, you mix and match. Las Vegas, you got to gamble.
Yeah, you definitely have to gamble here. And some really good times here. Justin Starr, we're talking to him earlier, and made the comment that he wanted to start as high up in this field as he could. Obviously, that's a goal any week, but definitely wants to start up here. Is par with racing, not all the time, but typically we're having some issues with the overlays there again. Typically the cautions do happen towards the back of the field, but that being said, that is not always the case. We're actually going to get rid of those. It doesn't always happen at the back, and last time we were here, the last two times we were here, if our math is correct, we had 1 caution and 0 cautions. So this track and these drivers are notorious for not having very many cautions or any at all.
Well, I'm not as familiar with this series to speak of that, but yeah, when you got guys that have been running week in, week out, and they've got seat time, they've got the experience, you tend to see some longer green flag runs, and that's what most guys want to see. You don't want to see cars wrecking and causing too many caution flags. It doesn't make the race too exciting. So when you get those long green flag runs, it opens the door to really thinking of strategy. What can you do to move forward? What can you do to maybe shake up the front, shake up the lead? Do you want a short pit? Do you want to take 2 tires and fuel instead of 4? It's all about gambling. Again, we're talking about Las Vegas.
Yeah, it definitely is about gambling when you're in Las Vegas. Maybe you can make something happen here. As there we go. For some reason, that car blinked out. There we go. We'll go over to Scotty Zerk in the 31. But it's going to be interesting to see who does it. Jameer Muhammad is the fastest right now, followed by Mikey Neal, Sal Casey, the 2, the 8, and the 40. Those guys we're always used to seeing up at the front of this field. Raven Yeager, brand new. This isn't his first race, but still I would consider him a newer driver. So someone that we'll have to watch for and see how he does. But currently 4th fastest, Alex Huffman in 5th, no surprise there. James Rello, Bryson Barker, all these guys. Josh Coley up there, who you are very familiar with yourself.
Yeah, Charles. In fact, I was just running through the entries here and just checking out these names, and In fact, Josh Coley is the one that stands out. I am familiar with him as I do race with him in a Northwest Racing Series, and both in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. He's been a heck of an add-on to the series here, and he's a front runner. He's definitely considered a front runner now and a threat. You know, I think he's locked into one of the series championships and trying to lock himself into the next one. But definitely a great guy to run with.
Yeah, definitely is. And this past Sunday didn't have the best luck. The 31 of Scotty Zerk got a little bit of a bumper there to the 5 of Dorsett, and that Brandon Dorsett, and that put him into the wall. But he kind of recovered from it, just never really was able to fully recover from it. And that put him back a little ways. But it is time now to get to the Walls Beardco starting grids. Looks like we got about 24 drivers here. So do you want to run through our first 10 drivers here, our top 10, and then I will bring it home?
Sure can. Looks like we got Mohammed on the pole. Nice lap there. We got Neil outside front row. In third place, we got Casey. Fourth place, Yeager. We got fifth place, Huffman. Sixth place, Lorello. Then we got Barker, Dorsey, Mr. Josh Coley, and rounding out the top 10 on your starting grid, Justin Starr.
In row 6, going to be the 21 of Dan Butler and the 28 of Brian Bizzle. Row 7 is going to be the 5 of Brandon Dorsett and the 24 of Clarence Bonner. Row 8 is going to be the 47 of Trevor Graffam and the 78 of John Van Varelis. Row 9 is going to be Francois Peltier in that 19 and the 101 of David Gainforth in row 9. Row 10 is going to be the 91 of Jim Locking and the 51 of Brandon Young. Row 11 is going to be the 64 of Tony Rice and the 31 of Scotty Zerk. Row 12 is going to be the 75 of Bill Edwards and the 56 of Mike Taylor. And row 13, all by himself back here tonight, is going to be the 6 of Matthew Ellis, who did not put a time in, starting 25th spot. And we'll see, everybody is starting, so we have 25 drivers starting tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be an excellent field. We got a solid number of cars out here. They're coming around here to take the green flag, so I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
Definitely glad to have you back here in the booth, and we're going to actually go up here to the front of this pack. Lights are off, so we will go racing this time by. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here. We know we just got a donation in just a second ago. All that's going directly towards VRN and what we do around here. Part of that is going to be going to new overlays, which are being worked on now. It looks like the 25, I believe that was, may have spun the tires. Actually, it was the 24 or 25 that really spun the tires there on the start and kind of got them all bunched up here.
Yeah, I saw that, but it was a good job there saving it, keeping it pointed in the right direction. And looks like we got Mohammed jumping out to an early lead here going into turn 3. We're green.
They are indeed, and no surprise there that he gets a big jump in to update. That was the 23 of Raymond Yeager, one of the teammates here for Lee. I forgot the name of that. We'll have to look that up, but there's 3 teammates out here. He is one of them. So we're watching really this battle going on right here. 3-way battle for second. Mikey Neal, Sal Casey, and Alex Huffman. But you really can't count out James Lorello or Bryson Barker. It's like a 5-car battle for second place going on right now.
Yeah, when these cars are nose to tail like that, it gets exciting. It's really interesting to see what kind of lines they're going to take going into turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And they are pushing. They are right there, bumper to bumper.
They are indeed bumper to bumper, and Sal Casey going to take to the outside of the 83 of Alex Huffman. He will take the spot away of third position. While these guys are battling, go back here a little ways, you can see some of these teammates. Clarence Bonner, that is one of the teammates of Raymond Yeager, and I believe they have the other one is the 56 of Mike Taylor. As it is, he's back here in the back right now. Bill Edwards only one behind him, but a lot of drivers did not take qualifying laps, which is very surprising as our first caution does come out.
Yeah, that's a quick caution. We're going to have to look and see what happened. I did not catch that myself.
I'm not sure, but the 31 is way off spinning the car around, so we'll go back to Scotty Zerk and see if he was involved in this. Well, very interesting that it came out so early. And again, I'm not sure if the 31 was actually involved here, so we're going to take a look here and find out. See if we can get a good camera angle to look at it there from our blimp camera. But he's all by himself here, so I don't know if he was involved, but he did spin out after the caution was already out. As they're trying to avoid getting into the 91, so again, I'm not 100% sure who actually read out the caution. All we know is Scotty Zerk did go around after the caution was out.
Yeah, whatever happened back there, it's unfortunate. Yellow's out here. We're on lap 5. We got Muhammad still the race leader, followed by the 8 and the 40, and they look like they're coming down pit road. I bet you they're going to take 4 tires and fuel here, as tires are going to be needed here. Grip, tire wear is pretty crucial and pretty hard on these cars going into turn 1 and turn 3, and they're going to want the grip. So 4 tires and fuel, I'm thinking here.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I think they're going to take 4 tires of fuel here. And let's go to our a different camera here so we can get a better view of this. There we go. We'll see. I'm going to be watching my end here. I can see pit stops. And we'll see if anybody takes an extended pit stop here, because they do not have fast repairs. That's why Scotty Zerk is still on pit road. So we'll see if anybody takes more than about a 15 to 16 second pit stop here. As it looks like coming out first is going to be Justin Starr coming out of pit road first. So very interesting there, as I'm not showing an actual pit stop for him, so he may have just come down pit road without actually stopping.
It's quite possible. He may have short pitted. I'm not sure. Not sure what happened there, but he did come out ahead of these guys, and you know, once again, it's Vegas. Just got to keep that in our minds. Could be gambling early.
He very well could be. Dan Butler, Tony Rice, Mike Taylor not pitting here. These guys didn't qualify either, so they're not going to pit. They're going to stay up front with 6 laps on those tires. And looking back here, Bryson Barker has damage, so he was involved in it, as well as the 13. So I'm going to imagine that James Zarello and Bryson Barker were the cause of that caution. Scotty Zerk just getting tangled up in it, trying to avoid not becoming part of it, ended up spinning out anyway. In the 99 of Justin Starr coming back down pit road. So coming down pit road again, I didn't show him with an actual pit stop time. Now I do. So I have a feeling that may have been a glitch here, something not working right, where his pit crew would not service his car. We have seen that before.
Yeah, you know, iRacing can be known for some glitches, you know, like netcode and such, and some issues on pit road too, where the gas man doesn't fill the tank up, maybe puts a gallon or 2 in and kind of messes up the race plan for a driver. And that very well could be what happened to the 99. In fact, I kind of went back and took a look at it, and I think what might have happened is it looks like he might have actually parked himself in the wrong pit box and then realized he was way too far ahead of his own pit box, so I had to go back around and make a stop.
Yeah, it would probably be a lot easier to back up than it would, or to go around, to come back around than it would to back up several times. So no harm done. I think he's still going to be on the lead lap. He is indeed. Pace lights are off. So we'll get this thing going one more time here to start lap number 8. Again, there's 120 laps here tonight. We'll see. It's Las Vegas. We're going to see some gambling, and hopefully they will pay off, and we don't see any big wrecks here tonight. Green flag is in the air. It's Dan Butler that will officially lead his 2nd lap, and those are bonus points that will come in very handy when it comes down to the championship season.
Yeah, anytime you can get up front and lead laps and collect those bonus points, it really helps. Anytime you can get bonus points, it helps towards your championship run. Same for the Northwest Racing Series. We're in anything helps, and we're closing in on our championship, making the playoffs. So every point counts. Lead a lap, get a point. Gain a position, get a point. However you put those points together, it comes together when it counts. Oh, we got a car spinning in turn 1. It looks like the 64 into the wall there.
Tony Rice involved in a caution with the 25, I believe that is, as well. Let's go back. The 75 involved in this as well, but let's go to the 64 and go to the replay camera here. I would imagine here as we go back to the replay camera, I can't picture anybody coming in pit road here. Maybe those top 3. But they were just on pit road, so I can't picture them coming down. But we're watching the 64, that pink car, up on the top of your screen here to see what happened. And, oh, he gets a shot to the back bumper from the 24. I thought he scraped the wall there just a little bit. So we're actually going to go back here just a little bit more. Go to the roll bar camera of that 64 and see if he did indeed scrape the wall. It looks like the 24 got a heck of a run on him.
He sure did. When they went into turn 1 there, it looks like the 24 closed in, got right into the back of the 64, got him loose. I'm looking at it right now. It does not look like he scraped the wall. Just happened to get into the back and going into turn 1. Looks like the 5 collected a little damage there too.
Yeah, he definitely did. And yeah, he gets really close to the wall. He does not catch it though. We were riding on board to confirm that, which you obviously just said, so he did not collect the wall, but definitely the 24 got a heck of a run, and that will indeed put the 64 possibly 1 lap down. Again, they don't have any fast repairs, and I was completely shocked here as we have a ton of cars actually coming down pit road. We have Jameer Muhammad, who was one of your race leaders for quite some time here. Still the most laps led, but he actually came down pit road. Looks like Mikey Neal, though, is going to stay out and lead this lane.
Yeah, and I'd have to bet with the 2 car coming back down pit road, it's just tires. You know, with myself being a driver, along with all these guys, it's the grip. The grip is important. You know, those tires fall off pretty good. And the harder you run, the more you're going to lose. So just having that fresh rubber just helps keep that car stable and keeps your lap times going, faster. I'm not sure that it's going to make much of a difference since they were just on pit road a few laps ago. But we'll see if that too moves himself back towards the front.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll do pretty good. He's going to come out in 9th place. So still in a solid top 10. As we do have Jason Allison or ibog.co in chat. Good to have you in chat with us. Again, any chance we get to promote our sponsors, we do. So, of course, check out ibog.co if you're looking to get into broadcasting or just need some overlays. Obviously, we already mentioned a couple of times we have him working on some for us, so if you're going to get in there, make sure you do it after ours are done. But all jokes aside, he is working on some new ones here that we hope to debut soon. We've been working on them non-stop to get them out here. Possibly debut maybe with just partial there just to show them off. But I think everyone will like them. And the whole goal of those new overlays here, as you a driver yourself and you watch races, of course, is to get that information to the driver. The more information, or the fan, the more information we can get out to the fans, the better.
Certainly. It's always great to make a note on the sponsors, especially series sponsors. If any of these guys got team sponsors, it's always great to bring awareness and show the appreciation that these the help provides for the series to go on. Same thing with the Northwest Racing Series. We have some pretty dedicated names there, and always great to recognize.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of people that make this possible. Speaking of that, here on this league, of course, they have Dan Butler Designs, iRacing Drivers Award, Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. And, of course, the title of this series is the Global Building Contractors 12-week series. So it's kind of a mini series as their main series is done. But a big shout out to all these sponsors coming on board here for this season. But the lights are off, so we will go racing next time by. And if we keep having a few cautions here, this is the most we've ever had with this particular track in this league. There may not be much gambling going on here, as they're going to be able to get in and get fuel and tires pretty much when they need them.
Yeah, I heard you there mention Rochester Hills. I'm not sure if that's in reference to Rochester Hills, Michigan.
That it would be, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I grew up there in eastern Michigan, just near Detroit, and so that's kind of hometown for me, Rochester Hills, and I believe that's actually the home of NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series driver Brad Keselowski as well.
Well, definitely a lot of stuff going on there. But yeah, we actually checked out their menu one day, and man, the menu on the thing is more than I could repeat in one. I'd probably need 3 broadcasts just to get it all out. But they have a lot of food on there, and I'd imagine a lot of good food on top of that. So, you know, without trying to make myself any hungrier than I possibly could, we're going to get back to the racing as they are just about ready to go green one more time. Pace car dives off, and they are going to get it going here. Mikey Neal gets a good jump. Green flag back in the air. We are racing once again here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And Mikey Neal again got a nice jump there on that start. We'll see. We've had a few cautions early in this race. Once these guys get into the groove, though, I think we're going to see a lot of green flag racing. The question is, how long will it take them to get into that groove?
Yeah, we got the 9 car, the 83 and the 40 right there, all neck and neck in pursuit of that front runner there of Neal. And close racing again. This is getting exciting.
It definitely is. And here comes the 23. Trying to get by that is Raymond Yeager. Getting by the 47 of Trevor Graffam. He will clear him for the position. And Brian Bizzle in the 28 Abilene machine, he's going to try to get by him as well. He will clear him. And looking here, we're going to take a look. Trevor Graffam is one of those that has 9 laps on those tires. He did not come down and pit on that last stop, now 10. Brian Bizzle has 5 on his, and he got by him very quickly. So the reason I point that out is because Brian Bizzle was able to get by Trevor Graffam very quickly with 5 newer tires. However, so was the 23 of Raymond Yeager, who also was on 10 laps. So I don't think the tires are going to be as big an issue as I thought. It's going to be how you handle those tires.
Yeah, definitely. The line you take can play a big difference if you're running higher or lower. The grip's going to wear differently, and you just got to play around with it and figure out what works best for you. And if you feel like your car is hanging on for the longer run, you must be doing something right. But tires will matter, and I don't know that we're going to see it right now because we've had a few yellow flags. But if we get some long runs in, we're going to really see who stands out.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see the drivers like Alex Huffman, Sal Casey, who's come in pretty good, Mikey Neal, Brian Bizzle, Jameer Muhammad, these guys that we typically see up there. Even Josh Coley, who's back in 14th right now. We will see these drivers start to shine. James Zarello, who's also, and Bryson Barker back in 17th, James Zarello in 20th. I don't know if James Zarello will be much of a factor here tonight. Unfortunately, a very good driver, but already caught up in an early incident, so I'm not sure how much he will be a factor in tonight's race. But we still could see someone like Bryson Barker in there who has very little damage to his car.
Yeah, I think I've seen several cars suffer some damage thus far in the race, and damage without having that fast repair option is gonna make you suffer. You're gonna suffer the rest of the race, and the car's probably not gonna handle very well. And looks like we got a battle going on. The 2's trying to get around the 28 right now. The 2 has made it back up to the 6th position, so even a couple lap fresher tires is gonna help as he's working on the 28.
Yeah, and you're talking 9 laps versus 14, and those tires are definitely paying off for him here. just to update on the drivers with those older tires, your front 5 drivers right now have old tires. Then you have Brian Bizzle, Jameer Muhammad with fresher tires, a little bit fresher tires anyway. Then you have Trevor Graffam with older tires, as well as Justin Starr with older tires. He's probably fallen back the most to 11th, but you know, our front 5 on those old tires are really holding off the field right now. And the longer they can go, as a caution is going to come out, and we'll go back. It's going to be for Jim Locking. Let's go back and take a look. But what I was saying is, the longer you can stay out front, you're going to wear their tires out too, and eventually they will just even out with each other.
Yeah, that's true. Tires will wear, and eventually all the cars are going to be pretty much on the same level, kind of plateau out. And but we haven't got that long run yet, so we're yet to see what is going to happen on these long runs. We've had a couple short runs, and again a yellow flag. I'm not sure if you've seen anything out there or what caused this one.
It looks like the 6 of Matthew Ellis got into the back bumper. The 91 of Jim Locking gave him a little bit of a bump, and that started him going around. And I believe, if we'll go back here just a little bit more, I do believe it was the 13, if I'm not mistaken, that just finished him off there, and you know, completed that spin. As we're watching it one more time here, we'll go back up to the blimp camera, and right in here, there's the bump. The 6 gets the 91, Matthew Ellis, and there's the 13 who just finishes him off. Didn't deliberately get into him, just had nowhere to really go, and did spin him around. So our second caution for somebody getting into the back of somebody else here tonight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We've had several cautions here already in just only 23 laps of racing. So once again, haven't really seen a long run exist here in Las Vegas. So once again, we got all the leaders on pit road. The 8 car looks like it's going to win the race off pit road, followed by the 83.
It is going to be Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, and Clarence Bonner did not come down pit road. He is on the lead lap with heavy damage to that car. So I would imagine he's going to come in here. And pit is it's not showing him at the tail end of the lead lap. He is actually on the lead lap. So it'll be interesting to see if he brings that number 24 machine back down pit road or not. And there it is. It's Beast Racing. That is the name of the team. It's right there on his back bumper. So there's 3 Beast Racing cars out here tonight. Right now, I don't think many of them are faring too well, as typically they're up front and running really good.
Yeah, the 24 car did not come down pit road along with the 64. Both of them look to have some significant damage. But I'm not sure where these guys are at in the point series. But this is again looking at points, and if I was in this position, I would probably do exactly what the 24 is doing and just stay out, lead a lap, get that point, and then maybe the next time around hit down pit road and try to get some of that damage fixed.
Yeah, and it looks like the 64 being pushed to the back of the field. He is 10 laps down, so again, that's the 64. Tony Rice, he was involved in an incident early on in this race, so he's not on the lead lap, so he is going to be shuffled back. I thought he was going to get a wave around, but he is being moved to the back of the field. So we'll see what happens here as we'll go back to the front. I have a feeling with that damage, and you couple that with 13 laps on these tires, while not all of that has been green flag racing, I would imagine that the 8 of Mikey Neal is probably going to get by him pretty quick, and he may slow up the 83 who will be down on the bottom with him, and that may let Mikey Neal get a significant lead on the restart.
Oh, most definitely. You got a couple factors here. The damage on the 24, the older tires, it looks like he's staying out again, so maybe he's just going to push his luck and hold his position there. But the 8 car with fresh tires, a clean body, this 24 is probably going to get ran over going into turn 1.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's just not going to work out for him here tonight. You know, he wants to lead as many laps as he can, But at the end of the day, leading 1 or 2 laps versus, possibly causing caution, keep in mind, I say he could cause a caution if he's got older tires, but that is a very good team. So I'm not knocking him as far as being able to drive. Damage or not, he's going to be able to drive. The question is, how fast will he be? It's not a matter of talent. It's just a matter of the car not being able to drive the way it should be, and that could potentially cause a problem. So, again, like I said, to reiterate, it's not the driver, it's the car we're worried about.
Yeah, definitely. And when he got into the, I believe it was a 64 in turn 1, it was a pretty hard hit. Got into the wall, got into the other car. You never know what the damage is from our perspective. It's all on him. You could have some steering issues going on, some bent wheels. Definitely got some body damage. There is a little bit of a draft issue. Not so much a problem here, I would say, but he's definitely going to have some. Definitely have his hands full.
Yeah, he definitely will have his hands full. Give me. We want a 1 minute quick. Thank everyone for tuning in once again. As we have quite a few people out there watching tonight. Green flag is in the air. We are racing once again here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And it should be good. He is going to take it up high. And he's going to get past very quickly. No surprise. We figured that would be happening. And he's actually getting passed right now by the 23 and the 56. Those are his 2 teammates. And he is going to get shuffled way back here all the way to 12th place, going on 13th, 14th now. Is, again, nothing we didn't expect there.
Yeah, the 24 there just kind of went up the track there and kind of hanging on the outside line. He probably knew that he was going to fall back, and he's letting these guys with fresher tires just go on by. There's no use in putting up a fight and causing trouble, causing another wreck of any sort. So smart racing.
Yeah, definitely is. So we'll see. I don't think he has a chance to win here with that damage, but he very well could still pull off, a top 15 finish. All he's got to do is just hang in there, and that's why you see these guys hang in there as we're watching this front group. Is like you said, every position counts. The longer you can stay out there, somebody gets into a wreck. What if we have a big wreck that takes out 10 cars? You stay out there, you just gain 10 spots.
That's for sure. As long as you stay in the seat and keep driving, you never know what's going to happen in a race. If a big wreck takes out a few cars, you're definitely going to gain a few spots, and so forth. So it's best to keep driving, keep going, get what you can get, maximum points. Yeah,
I mean, the key to racing is never giving up. As looks like Mikey Neal falling back a few spots all of a sudden. As that's going to let Alex Huffman, Sal Casey, and Jameer Muhammad get by him just really abruptly there. And let's go back here. Let's take a look and see what happened there. Not sure if he scraped the wall or if he just let up there. But I want to find out what happened as he's down on the apron there. So let's go back a little bit more and see what happened. Right there, you see he is your leader. And I'm not sure what happened to him as he just gives up the lead here. But we're going to find out as we're watching the replay real quick. Hopefully we don't get a caution. But there, I don't think it had anything to do with getting loose or anything like that. He really just got freight trained on the outside by 3 cars.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't catch that, but I am watching a fierce battle up front as the 40 is now past the 83 on the outside, and look, the 2 cars right there as well.
Yeah, Jameer Muhammad, definitely someone you have to watch out for. So of course, your top 5. Your top 5 right now are some very, very fast, very good competitors. In this league. Jameer Muhammad, somebody you always have to watch out for. He's a proven champion in this series. So, you've got to watch out for him. Mikey Neal will look to see if he comes back here. But those tires may be not working in his favor right now. And he may have to try to kind of find a line that doesn't wear him out as much.
Yeah, now the cars have kind of single filed themselves going into turn 1 with the 40 out front, the 2 following in second, and then the 83 and the 8 and the 9. That rounds out your top 5.
Does indeed. Just to go through your top 10 real quick, the 6th place is going to be Mike Taylor, followed by Raymond Yeager, Brian Bizzle, Trevor Graffin, and John Van Varelis. And the one we haven't got to talk about too much here is the one we know, or you know, I know all of them here, but you know, that is the 33 of Josh Coley, as he's trying to work his way by the 78 of John Van Varelis. And John Van Varelis is going to shut that door just a little bit, so he can't quite get by. But he is keeping on going, and he's having much better luck than he did on Sunday, as that car was pretty beat up Sunday night. But he is doing good here. And just to update here in this race, Clarence Bonner 3 laps down currently. Tony Rice 10 laps down. James Zarello out of the race. Bill Edwards 21 laps down, but back out on the track. And Scotty Zerk is out of this race as well, as we may have a battle for the lead coming up here in the next 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, and I'm watching a battle a little bit farther back. I'm actually on the 33 car. Familiar number there, familiar driver, Josh Cooley. Looks like he's running his own race there in between a 3-car battle and a 2-car battle right behind him. I think he's just kind of sitting there. I know how good of a driver he is. I'm not sure what kind of stuff he's been doing in this series, but just outside the top 10. We'll see if he can make his way towards the front as the race continues.
Yeah, definitely this race will continue, and they will duke it out here. And we went back here to the request of, I believe that's Jason Covington in chat. We got a good battle going on back here with Matthew Ellis, Jim Locking, Brandon Dorsett going on. And even one of our new drivers here, I just want to point him out because his first race did not go as well as he planned. That was the 19 of Francois Peltier. Just didn't quite go the way he wanted. Here he is battling once again in 14th place, and he is having much better success here. Would obviously like to get a top 10 or a top 5, but the car is in one piece, and that is a lot better than it was his first race.
Yeah, right there behind them is the 51 and the 101, followed by the 6. Looks like they got a good battle going on back there. I've seen some good paint schemes in this series. Speaking of which, the leading car, the number 40, a good old Sterling Marling scheme with that number 40.
It definitely is, and we just saw that. I'm not sure who that was back here. That may be the 101. It is the 101 of David Gateforth. I don't think I've ever seen anybody run Spam as a sponsor in their car before, but definitely an interesting paint job back there. To run Spam on there, just something you don't typically see on a paint car, or on a car here as a paint job.
No, in fact, you don't. When you think of Spam, what I think of is an old Ford Thunderbird, or I want to say it was a Ford Thunderbird. I'm not sure what it was, though. But back then in NASCAR, Lake Speed used to drive I believe, a number 9 Spam-sponsored Ford. But that's what I get out of that.
Yeah, definitely brings back some memories for sure. And it's got a good little battle going on here. About mid-pack is the front of this pack. We'll check in with him. I really thought Jameer Muhammad had something for the 40 of Sal Casey, but so far, not really. At 0.816 seconds separating those two. And your front, I'd say at least 5 are kind of spread out. You go back a little ways, you got this group right here. Looks like Mike Taylor in there, probably Trevor Graffman in there as well. Even Raymond Yeager, Brian Bizzle, John Van Varelis. And then you have back here with the 19 leading this group, you have the 19, the 6, the 51, the 91. You have a whole nother group. So you have 2 real groups battling for positions.
Yeah, and just as you say that about the front 2 there, it looks like Muhammad's kind of closed it in to just under 0.4 of a second, so he is closing that gap. Maybe he's just kind of holding off and seeing what the 40 car is going to do, watching him. Is he going high? Is he going low? And just prepping for the best move possible to try to take that lead.
Yeah, he definitely is. And we'll keep an eye on that and see, as it is closed now, 0.366. So he has closed the gap a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that. You can also keep an eye on the ticker up there to see exactly who is where. And we are going to go back here just a little bit because I want to watch this battle between the 28, Brian Bizzle has had a great run here in 8th place, trying to get up there to the 23 of Raymond Yeager. Just got by John Van Varellis, but he's got a little bit of a gap there to try to get by him. And if you go back a little bit further, actually 2 spots back, you have Bryson Barker, Justin Starr, and Mike Taylor. And it's hard to see the Justin Starr in the 99. We're used to a purple car, but he's actually running a Racecore red and black paint here. So I'm just not used to that paint job just yet.
Well, quite frankly, I'm not really used to any of these paint jobs since I believe it's the first time I've ever been a part of this series here. But the 99 is running that black and red car. I kind of like it with Racecore there. Looks good. Right there in the middle of a couple cars and just kind of driving his line, seeing what he can do.
He definitely is. As we'll check back here. I thought I saw some shaking up, but we did. This back group, they have not given it up just yet. The 51, the 101, the 91. None of these guys have given up any battling. They are still side by side, almost 3 wide at certain points, especially back here with the 6, the 101, the 51. These guys are just battling so hard, and the 91 actually having some connection issues there. Meanwhile, Jameer Muhammad has that gap between first and second has once again increased to 0.6 from 0.3.
Yeah, it looks like the 91 there's got a little bit of rear end damage. Looks like the 6 car's got some right front damage there too. I bet that damage is probably hurting their cars a little bit here, as this run actually is now the longest run we've had under green.
It is indeed 24 laps on this stint. Like you said, the longest one we have had so far. And I'm curious to see again. Our prediction is 28 to 30 laps on fuel. So we should see them coming down pit road here in the next probably 5 to 3 to 5 laps roughly in there. So we'll see if anybody tries to short pit it here. As we'll pull up our caution chart real fast. We've had 3 cautions for 8 laps, 73 laps to go, so we still have a huge chunk of this race to go. But our first set of green flag pit stops coming up, and it's going to be Mikey Neal coming in on lap 26, so he is going to short pit it unless our estimate on fuel is lower than we thought.
You know, this is, again, Las Vegas. You know, you got these cars coming down, and as with any track, you might get some guys that are behind the lead that might want to come in and make that pit stop first. They will start gaining some track time on the leader as long as the leader remains on the track. That's how much better and how much quicker the car will be on fresh tires and fuel. So this could be a gamble. Coming in early, getting those fresh tires, trying to make up some track time on that leader, but this can also force the leaders to start making their green flag pit stops.
Yeah, it is. There's the 56 coming in. We'll go to the leader, Sal Casey, and he is not coming in yet. Neither is the 2 of Jameer Muhammad. So we'll see Brandon Young on pit road. So a few of our guys have pitted that were in the top 10, but for the most part, not many people have, as there goes Trevor Graffam coming down pit road in the 47 machine. We'll see who else is going to be next. I don't see anybody slowing up on the track or getting low enough to come down pit road. So, so far, it looks like they are going to stretch this all the way to lap 30 here for the fuel stop.
Yeah, it looks like it, as the 40 and the 2 both remain on the track in the number 1 and number 2 positions going into turn 1. they may be stretching it to the max, trying to push it to make minimum pit stops. I'm guessing that we're looking at maybe two more green flag pit stops if the race were to stay green.
I believe that is about right. If we can go with 30 laps, we may be able to go more than that. That was what we were guessing and also informed. So if we can go 30 laps, this would actually be a 3-stop here, because that'd be 30 and 30 would be 60 with 8 laps left to go. So we would actually have to make 3 stops. And here we are on lap 30, as we have some drivers on 31. So I'm thinking they can make it a few more than 30, but it can't be many more than that. If it was many more than, say 30, 32, we wouldn't see drivers coming in so early, as Josh Coley now going to come in on lap 30. So I would imagine maybe they can get 33 laps of fuel max.
Gotcha there, Charles. It looks like the 40 and the 2 are going to remain on the track and keep stretching this fuel run here. It's kind of surprising me, as these other guys are starting to make their pit stops, and knowing how better fresh tires are, I'd be on pit road myself. But these cars, they know when they come down and get their fresh rubber, they're going to be just as fast, if not faster, than those guys that have already pitted.
Yeah, and you're looking at Mikey Neal, 30.5 on his last lap. And even that's slower than his 29.9, so a 30.5 on his last lap. Sal Casey, your leader, currently running a 31.6. So he is about a second faster, actually a little over a second faster than your race leader right now. However, he is 1 lap down back in 15th. They could potentially be trying to hold out for a caution. That is a strategy we have seen used before. But it's not going to happen, because here come your front 2 down pit road, and it looks like we're going to have some taker. Oh, I thought we'd have a taker with them, but your front 2 coming down, Sal Casey and Jameer Muhammad.
Yeah, we got the 40 and the 2 on pit road now. The 40 ducked down pit road. It looked like the 2 wasn't sure until the last second, kind of checked up there, made it on the pit road themselves. Looks like they made it into their boxes just fine. We'll see if they get off pit road and maintain their track position.
It'll be interesting to see if they can, as we're watching them make sure no mistakes are made, and they look like clean stops here. Sal Casey going to get out first, as he was able to get on pit road first with a little bit of a gap, and now everybody's to come down.
Yeah, they did, and they are losing ground drastically. I think they stayed out a little too long. Those fresher tires you're gaining so much time on cars with older tires, and Mr. Mikey Neal there is right there with the 40, and I think that's you see how much track time he gained, because he's right there. He's right there with the 40 and the 2.
Yeah, he definitely gained a lot, and he is back on the lead lap too, so he wants to stay there. The next car behind him, Mike Taylor, a lap down in 13th place. So there's 12 drivers out of the 22 on track right now that are currently on the lead lap. Again, Clarence Bonner out of the race, James Arello out of the race, and Scotty Zerk out of the race. As we have a few more guys coming down pit road. Bryson Barker coming down. Brian Bizzle, Justin Starr, Francois Peltier coming down. David Gainforth coming down. And when this is all cycling out, it's going to be really close between Sal Casey, Jameer Muhammad, and Mikey Neal.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it cycle with the 40 and the 2 back up front as the first and second place cars. The only problem with the 8 car, I think he did the right thing if he wanted to gain some track position, but he had some usage on those tires. And with the 40 and the 2 car coming out like that, they're just going to pull away from the 8. So if a caution were to come out, that's where the 8 would have benefited in gaining this track position.
He definitely would have benefited if that caution would have come out. And so far, again, that one was about 31 laps of green. And now we've already completed 11 since Mikey Neal came down pit road. So we're looking at a huge green flag run here. Again, I said it earlier in the night. Once these guys got into their little groove, we would see some green flag racing, and that is exactly what we've seen so far. is that they have kind of settled into that groove. And speaking of settling in and moving up, look at Josh Coley in that 33 machine in 4th place right now.
Yeah, Josh Coley, like I said before, he was outside the top 10, and he's slowly just running his race, being smart, and he's working his way up there. 4th position, pretty good, and that's after pit stops.
Yeah, he's definitely moving in the right direction. So far, we are on lap 61. And so we'll pull it up. It's exactly the halfway point here in the race. Of course, we are now under green flag conditions for quite some time. I don't expect to see a caution come out here, but at the halfway points, we are going to take a quick commercial break. And we will be right back here in just a few moments. If a caution comes out, we will come right back. Alright, we are back after a little quick non-stop commercial break there. As you are watching the 33 here, Sal Casey is still out front, has a nice lead here over Jameer Muhammad. Mikey Neal still trying to run both these guys down, but just not quite there at the moment. Let's go back here and look and see if we can find any battles going on throughout this field. As there is second place getting by the 13 there. If we can find him here, I know he's a couple of laps down, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, that wasn't the 13, that was the 75, my bad, Bill Edwards. Those two cars look almost identical here. But that was the 75, not the 13, his teammate. So that is why we got a battle going on here between Brian Bislin, the 28, and the 23 of Raymond Yeager. There's a nice size gap there. And going back here, we'll check in with Justin Starr having a solid run here tonight. Just outside the top 10 right now in 11th place. We'll see if he can get that 99 machine past the 91 machine of Jim Locking and put himself into a top 10. And they do have a lap car here, which could potentially play a factor into all of this. So we'll see if the 91 will be any factor in the 99 getting by. Is contact made indeed between the 64 and the 99, and almost more contact made.
Yeah, I was watching that when it happened. There was some door slamming there. I'm surprised the 64 didn't get out of the way, but honestly, I don't think he really could have with the 91 on the outside. The 99 tried to go to the inside and kind of make it 3 wide there. I don't think the 99 is going to be too happy because he was right there on the 91, and now there's a pretty sizable gap there because of that.
Yeah, there's a gap, 0.733 second gap now, so that's a lot of time you have to make up here on the racetrack. You reel them in, and then to have to reel them in again is never fun. You don't want to have to do that more than once. So we'll watch that and see what becomes of it, but not much happening here. We'll go back here to the 84 Bryson Parker, who is now 1 lap down. Had such a good run going earlier, but to go a lap down now, just unfortunate for him. Tony Rice, of course, 13 laps down. Bill Edwards currently 26 laps down. So while there are a lot of cars back here, they're not always, they may be battling for position on the track, but not for an actual position in the standings.
Yeah, it looks like from what I can see, we got about 16 cars now on the lead lap, and several cars back there that are just 1 lap down, and then Tony Rice is 13 laps down, and then it goes on from there. But Brandon Young, 1 lap down, first car, 1 lap down. If a yellow were to come out, that car would get the free pass, I believe, and get himself back on the lead lap.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Nope, go ahead.
And that is one thing, too. You know, while you're mentioning cautions, these drivers think, okay, I'm a lap down. We've had some cautions. I'll get that lap back. And then all of a sudden, like I said, these guys just, like, switching into the high gear. They just completely change how they're driving or something. And then you go caution-free here as we're fixing to be coming up on our second round of green flag pit stops here. And about anywhere from 6 to 15 laps, just depending on when you came in the last time.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because we've seen the 8 car come in early, and he's kind of fallen off the pace from the lead cars quite a bit. It looks like he's about 11 seconds back. The front two are just running about a little over a second apart from each other. But since that 8 car came in early, he was able to gain a lot of track position and get himself up there. But when it cycled out and then those top 2 cars had the fresh tires, they pulled away and opened up the gap. So we're going to see probably the 8 car started off again on this next round.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think he'll definitely be up there. And he's going to come in. I would imagine if he does what he did last time, we should expect to see him in either this lap or next. I would be willing to bet this next lap around. We'll watch here for the 8 of Mikey Neal. I'm willing to bet he probably comes in here on this next lap. And we'll look here. If he came in right now, that would be 46 laps to go. So he still wouldn't make it. He would have to come down again, as that would put him well short of making it still. And everyone would be well short. But I'm curious. He may not short pit both of them. But if he does, I would expect him to come in here very soon. And he does indeed come again back on lap 26.
Yeah, as Neil makes his way on pit road, it's just as I was saying. He'd probably be the first one to start it off again. But however, he's like 10 seconds behind, 11 seconds behind second place. So pitting now, I don't believe he's going to be able to make up the track time that he did before. The gap is just too big. And as the race stays green, odds are it's just not going to work out for him. I think at this point, they're going to need a caution to bunch this thing back up.
Yeah, he wants a caution, but he doesn't really necessarily need one because that would trap him a lap down. And granted, he would get the wave around. He's the first one to lap down, and now he's not. So he wouldn't get the lucky dog. He would have to take the wave around, and that would put him at the tail end of the lead lap. So that would make it very difficult. He'd have to fight his way through this field, and that's a field of nearly 20 cars because right now Tony Rice is out of the race. Bill Edwards, of course, 33 laps down. So there are 20 cars on this track right now. Of course, 15th through 20th, the last 5 are currently 1 lap down. They would all get their laps back if they took the wave around in the lucky dog. So that could get very, very difficult for Mikey Neal if he had to fight his way through that field.
Yeah, and I guess I should have mentioned that he doesn't want a caution to come out right now. He would rather see that the pit stop cycle through. He gets himself back on the lead lap, and then a caution would come out. We're going to see probably the 40 car that's out there leading this race by over a second and a half. Probably hit pit road probably in the next 5 laps or so, along with the 2 car of Mohammed.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. They're on lap 23 of this stint. Last time they came in on 31, so We'll see if that is what they do again. And I'm kind of with Mike in chat, which is Mikey Neal's which is Mikey Neal's dad, sorry. He typically has a plan. While I don't always know what it is or understand it, he does have a plan, and we'll be looking to see what that plan is, as he's notorious for pitting different than everybody else and somehow putting it in victory lane.
Well, at this point, we got 14 cars on the lead lap. Again, the 40 cars out front. Looks like we have some small battles going out through the pack. Long green flag runs going on here. Long green flag runs, but looks like the 40 car is the one that's dialed in here for tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's surprising because it is a fixed setup too. So, it's all about finding it. As the John Van Varellis going way on the apron there, almost lost control of the car, but what a save for that 78 machine.
Yeah, fixed setups, just like myself in the Northwest Xfinity Series, we run a fixed setup as well, and it does more or less come down to driving style and who can just wheel the car the best and work those tires the best, make that car last. The most you could probably change, if I remember, is basically your steering ratio and maybe your brake bias, I think, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but getting that right steering ratio to make the car work and drive the best you can get it to drive. Whoever gets it right between that and just your driving style, picking the right lanes in the corners and just not abusing the tires, that driver is going to be the one out front. As you can see, the 40 is doing it right tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we're searching this field here for some battles going on. While we're watching for battles here, we do want to remind everybody, thanks for tuning in here tonight to VRN. I know we got quite a few people out there watching. If you are new tonight and haven't before, or if you're not new and still haven't done it, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell. You'll be notified of all upcoming events here on VRN. And, of course, hit that thumbs up and let us know, let the other fans know, let all the drivers know that you enjoyed the race here tonight. Again, as I predicted here, there goes Dan Butler on pit road. I figured we would have a few cautions and then that we would have some really good green flag racing, and that is exactly what we've seen here tonight. Is the 83 of Alex Huffman going to get by the 9 of Brian Dorsey?
Yeah, we certainly have had some good long flag racing. A couple cautions there. Sometimes typical in some of these races, you see a few cautions. Once that gets all sorted out, we get the green flag in, and that's exactly what we've got going tonight. Looks like, as we see cars coming off pit road, it looks like the second round is now under full swing here as cars are starting to make their second pit stops.
They are indeed. Second round of green flag pit stops underway. We're on lap 86 of 120, so we're actually coming up very quickly here on 30 to go. It's 35 to go right now, and they will have to come down here, as I don't think they're going to be able to stretch it to 35 laps. Nobody has attempted to yet, and I'm just not thinking they're going to be able to do it. Maybe some of these guys, if they can hang in there, but some of these guys are on 33, so Josh Coley, 33 laps. Maybe there is a chance he's on lap 34. They may be able to make it to lap 35.
We shall see, but as I am speaking, the 40 car has now pulled off the track and is making his pit stop under green flag conditions. And we should see if the 2 follow suit. But the 40 is on pit road. Let's see if he can make this a flawless stop and maintain his track position.
And the 2 of Jameer Muhammad stays out. So very interesting there that he did indeed choose to stay out. He does have 4 stops already, but again, he pitted under caution when some of these guys didn't. It didn't really play too much of an effect into the race, as he is going to get on and off pit road. Sal Casey having a flawless stop.
Yeah, as he makes his way out onto the track, I'm wondering if the 2's thinking if he stayed out one more lap, maybe he could make it the rest of the way. That's kind of stretching it. Looks like, what'd you say, 120 laps in this one?
Yeah, and he is coming down pit road now. So Jamir Muhammad on pit road. Alex Huffman's on pit road as well. So now you have a few drivers out there still that have not pitted. Your top 5, Brian Bizzle, Jim Locking, Raymond Yeager, Justin Starr, and John Van Rellis have not come down pit road, and neither has Matthew Ellis or Brandon Dorsett.
No, and it looks like as the 2's coming off of pit road, the 40 car has already overtaken the 2 car. I'm not sure that extra lap really helped the 2. I think it's going to hurt the 2 more than help it. The 40 car is probably going to cycle back around as the race leader.
And notably here that the 8 of Mikey Neal is ahead of Jamir Muhammad right now as they are fighting their way back up. Everyone will have to come down pit road, and they should have to come down one more time, as it looks like Jamir Muhammad is going to get by Mikey Neal here on the outside, and got by him fairly easy. Again, you're talking right now, Jamir Muhammad has 1 lap on his tires. Mikey Neal has 14 on his, so you're talking of times roughly 30 versus almost 32. So Mikey Neal's got some fairly old tires compared to Jamir Muhammad right now.
Yeah, and if this race stays green, we might see these cars come down again under green if they can't make it to the end of the race. It's not likely they will, but this is where Las Vegas and the whole gambling factor might come into play. You might see some of these cars, such as the 2 car, maybe come down and take fuel only, and then hope that the 40 takes 4 tires and fuel, and that would probably gain enough track position there to put the 2 out front. But we'll see. It's going to get exciting as these laps wind down.
Definitely looking forward to it. Mikey Neal coming back down pit road here. And we'll take a look here real quick at our caution chart. 29 to go. He can make it on fuel. He was just on pit road 14 laps ago. He's coming back down. He's going to get his last pit stop out of the way here. So we have a few drivers coming down as well with him. So here comes Brian Bizzle coming down. These guys were just on pit road. They're coming down once again. So really short pitting this last pit stop. But they will be able to make it on fuel now.
Yeah, this was expected to see Neal in the 8 car have to make a pit stop because he pitted way earlier outside of the range to make it to the end of the race. However, the 8 did stop for a full pit stop. Took fuel and 4 tires, it looks like. So if you get the 40 and the 2 car, if they come down and take just fuel, this 8 car ain't going to really gain too much.
Yeah, and we'll see if they do that. I think you're going to take tires. We'll see when they come in is the question here, as that, I think, was part of the strategy here for the 8 of Mikey Neal. While he is a lap down now, he has 1 lap on his tires. So he's going to be running a lot faster times than Sal Casey and Jamir Muhammad. So that is going to be the one thing that is going to save him there. If he can take advantage of those old tires they have versus the new tires he has and close that gap, that might spare him here if he can close that gap. Even if they take fuel only, if he can close enough of the gap, he might be able to get up there and give them a run for their money. However, you're right. If he can't close that gap enough and they only take fuel and they're on there for like 4 seconds, that could be devastating here. But I think he's got a plan of just waiting to see how it all plays out.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. I think the fact that the 40 and the 2 car and most of these guys came down and made pit stops, and then the 8 came down within a couple laps of that. I think these cars are pretty evened out on tires. So as far as gaining on these guys up front, I don't think it's going to be drastic. It's not going to be like these cars up front has 20 laps on their tires and then the 8 has new tires. That'd be more of a chance to gain there. But we'll see when these laps roll on here and click off. We'll see what the 40 and the 2 do, strategizing for their final stops.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as they are coming up on lap 98. Excuse me, coming up here momentarily. So we are really close to being at the 20 to go here. As we'll pull that caution chart up one more time. 23 laps to go. We're on lap 98 of 120 here. And this is going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out here. Again, we just don't know. We'll see. The 2 and the 40 are going to have to come down pit road again. And, of course, Mikey, Neil, Knott. There's a lot of these guys that will not have to come back down pit road again. They have already done so. So, you know, whether Mikey and Neil can make it or somebody else can, this is going to get interesting because there's probably some people that are a lot closer to them, too.
Yeah, but these front 2 cars, especially the distance between the second-place car and the third-place car of Mohammed and Dorset, there's a huge gap. It's like 21 seconds, give or take. So the 40 and the 2 can easily come down, and I would say they can easily come down, take 4 tires of fuel, and still maintain their track position. They got such a lead.
Yeah, they definitely have a nice lead. And you're looking here, Sal Casey has a 2.4 second lead over Jameer Muhammad. And then you look to behind that, 24 seconds behind third place Alex Huffman. So Alex Huffman in third place still has a huge gap. He probably can't even see the leaders right now as we are coming to the line here. Sal Casey, there it is, 20 laps to go. That is all that remains in this race. We know some of our guys have to come back down pit road. Well, actually, I say that. They may not have to. Let's do the math here if we can. 20 to go. Sal Casey has 13 on his stint. That would put him at 33 laps. He very well could make it, and we know Jameer could with 32. So I think they've set themselves up that they will make it on fuel.
Yeah, and that's again strategizing. That would explain why they had stayed out so much longer than the 8 car when the 8 car chose to pit for the first time. Set them up for success. It may pay off in the end, and the 40 could get a win. He's definitely got the strong car here tonight, and is definitely pulling away. He's setting the pace.
Yeah, he definitely is setting the pace, and we'll see if that pace is going to pay off for him. Again, it's some really good battle here. I'm really wanting to know if that 2 can possibly get up there and have anything to do with the 40, but I think the 40 has this one sewn in the bag unless something happens.
Yeah, I agree. The 2's kind of had a hard-fought race going on back there in second, doing everything he can to get through this race right there behind the 40 car, just knowing he's only 1 car back from the lead. It's within sight, but not necessarily within reach. He's about 1.5 seconds behind the 40, and it looks like we're roughly, give or take, 15 laps to go.
Yeah, 17 laps to go, and the 40 will have a win here. I believe that's his first win, too. I'm not mistaken. We'll have to clarify that with him in the post-race show if it is indeed his first win. But still not much going on here. You got the 78 and the 6, John Vander Ellis and Matthew Ellis, kind of close together, but everyone is really spread out at the moment. Not much going on in the way of battling. Justin Starr in the 99 machine is in 9th place. He has been trying to work over that 91 of Jim Locking all race long. Even with that damage he has, he just hasn't been able to get by him.
And we got Raymond Jager. He's in the 23 car. He's the first car 1 lap down. He, right now, is kind of hoping for a caution like some of these other guys might be. He'd like to get that yellow flag and get his lap back and maybe set himself up for a shot at a better finish. But right now, he's sitting in 7th. And that being said, we've only got 6 cars on the lead lap right now as the laps continue to wind down.
And when you're looking at 30-second laps here, that will not put Brian Bizzle. He's currently right there. There's Brian Bizzle. There's your leader. He is about to go a lap down. That would put 5 on the lead lap. Then you count Brian Dorsey in the 9 machine. There he is, right there. There's the 28, and there's your leader. So right now, Brian Bizzle and Brian Dorsey both in jeopardy of going laps down.
That is true. The 28 car right now coming off turn 4, and just as I say that, the 40 as well. They're crossing the start-finish line as we speak. Definitely the 28's trying to stay on the lead lap. He's doing everything he can, but that 40 car is setting such a fast pace here that it might not be possible. It looks like he's catching them pretty quick.
Yeah, he definitely is catching them. So we'll see if he can catch them here. I have a feeling he's good. We got 13 laps to go. Unless he kind of backs off here, he doesn't need to push it, but, you know, just because you don't need to doesn't mean you're not going to. Certainly. I think the 40 thinks, or I should say knows he's got the best car here tonight. He's set the pace. He's driving his race. He's eyeing that win here tonight. I don't think he's going to do anything to jeopardize that. Looks like he's just going to keep running his race the way he's been all night and not put himself in any position to lose it out of his own control. The 2 car there, roughly a second and a half right now, just kind of mellowed out there, kind of plateaued. Same lap times, not really gaining on the lead, so laps are winding down. He's going to have to do something if he's going to want this win bad enough. Yeah, he definitely is, and I think he's closed that gap a little bit, as it was almost 2 seconds. Now it's 1.6. So he has closed the gap, but I just don't know if he has enough time to close it the rest of the way. If he does, it is going to be a side-by-side battle here for the finish, and we've already seen one of those last night. So we very well could see another one here tonight if he can catch him. But he's kind of hit that plateau you're talking about since he hit to that 1.6 seconds behind.
Yeah, certainly 1.6 seconds. It seems to be maintaining that pace. Not really gaining or losing, but we'll see in the closing laps. Third place, Alex Huffman. Looks like he's about 24, almost 25 seconds behind second place. So you got third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place not even a factor right now, as it's basically down to the top 2 of Sal Casey and Jamir Mohammed.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. Mikey Neal just had a fast car, just didn't quite work out here. Alex Huffman, though, having a good run for himself. Josh Coley in fourth place as well. So to recover from his Sunday performance where he got hit, got into the outside wall, and destroyed the car, he has come back and put on a terrific run here tonight. Brian Dorsey sitting at 5th, so good to see him back in the top 5.
Yeah, Mikey Neal, is unfortunate as it is, he's back in 14th, a lap down. Quite a ways back there, and I think the thing that upset his race tonight was the fact that he came down early and kind of started the whole pit stop strategy by pitting early. That kind of set him back. I think he was hoping or banking on cautions coming out. It just didn't fall his way. Unfortunately, he got himself stuck back in the pack too far. Not a good run tonight.
Yeah, definitely not. And disappointing, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. He's a very good driver. We'll be looking to see him back in victory lane shortly, as you got a nice little battle going on right here. Even though this technically isn't 100% for a position, but Alex Huffman having a connection issue here is out of the race. So the 83 of Alex Huffman mid-race here, all of the sudden having a connection issue and is out of the race. Meanwhile, back to the race, side by side for the 28 of Brian Bizzle and the 9 of Brian Dorsey. Meanwhile, your leader, Sal Casey's trying to put them both a lap down.
Yeah, and in the mix of that, we got third place, Josh Coley. Third place. He's made his way up to third place. Solid run for that 33 Chevy Camaro. Looks like he's keeping up with his front-running capabilities as he is in the Northwest Racing Series. I see he's getting himself some more track time in other series out here. That's a good thing. Good run for Josh Coley tonight.
It definitely is. And looks like, indeed, Alex Huffman has dropped connection all of a sudden.
Yellow comes out.
Yellow is out, and that is 4 to go. I do believe we'll pull that up real quick. 4 laps, so 5 to go, so that will do it. This race will be over, so it's going to be Sal Casey, Jameer Muhammad, and Josh Coley are going to be your top 3. But since this race will not go green again, we're going to step away to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back here in just a few moments.
Take. Say command.
What is the weather like in LA?
The weather is clear in LA.
What is the weather like in New York?
The weather is rain in New York.
Use flow mode.
Flow.
Say hello, TT.
Hello, TT.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, going to figure out what was going on with Alex Huffman from his teammates, and we did find out his computer actually froze, is why he disconnected, and also got a word in with Mikey Neal as to his strategy here for tonight, and Chris, you're not going to believe what his strategy was here for tonight.
What's that?
He thought it was 110 laps is what he told us. So he thought the race was 10 laps shorter than it was. That is why he short pitted and thought he was going to be 3 laps short on fuel, and he was going to try to save that fuel. And he said he even saw that on his black box it said 117 of 20, and it just didn't click with him that it was a 120 lap race. He was thinking 110. Thinking the race was 10 laps shorter than it was is what cost Mikey Neal possibly the win here tonight.
That's unfortunate. Got to be mindful of your race length there so you can strategize and prioritize your race as needed among pit stops and whatnot. That's unfortunate. Better luck next week, next race.
Yeah, definitely. You never want to see that, but, it's one of those things that, racers beat themselves more than they beat the competition, or than the competition beats them. You can over-strategize. This is probably what he did, He was strategizing and just somehow got it into his head that it was 110 versus 120, and it happens. It's unfortunate, but like you said, he'll bounce back. He's young, he's good, and we'll see him in victory lane here again. It just won't be here tonight, but Josh Coley going to be putting it in third place. Sal Casey, I believe, getting his first win. I can't remember if he's had another one here or not, but we'll be talking to him later on, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, you're here. We're glad to have you here, but there won't be a Jeff and Jameer show tonight, as they've become accustomed to. As Jeff has the night off, you are here, so maybe we'll have the Chris and Jameer show.
Yeah, and you mentioned how drivers beat themselves up. I can only go back to myself at the end of the Northwest Racing Series Season 1 earlier this year. Chicagoland, having a really good run. And I think I told you, Charles, prior to the race, just got to hit my marks and not make mistakes. And sure enough, I made a mistake on the pit road and spun the car. Lost the race, lost the championship, I believe, because of that. So, yeah, I beat myself up too. It's one of those driver things. You just got to stay focused, hit your marks, and just try to do the best you can week in and week out.
Yeah, that's all you can do, indeed. And the lights are still on. This time, the checkered flag should be coming out. We're on lap 120 right now. So there it is. Checkered flag is waving once again. So we'll see as they are coming to the line. It will officially be Sal Casey getting the win here tonight. He's just got to get across the line first, and there he is right there. Your winner here tonight is going to be the 40 of Sal Casey, bringing it home tonight. And we'll get to the post-race show here in just a minute. Before we do so, Chris, you want to run through our top 10 here in tonight's finishing order?
Yeah, sure can. With the win tonight, congratulations to the 40 car of Sal Casey. Second place, Jameer Mohammed. Third place, Josh Coley. Fourth place, Ryan Dorsey. And rounding out your top 5 in fifth place, we got Raymond Jagger. Sixth place, you got Jim Locking. Seventh place, you got Justin Starr. Eighth place finisher, Brian Bizzle. Ninth place, David Gainforth. And rounding out your top 10 in 10th place, Brandon Dorsett.
In 11th place is going to be the 78 of John Van Verellis. 12th place is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal. 13th, the 6 of Matthew Ellis. 14th, 21 of Dan Butler. And 15th will go to the 19 of Francois Peltier. 16th will go to the 47 of Trevor Graffam. 17th, the 51 of Brandon Young. 18th will go to the 83 of Alex Huffman after a PC issue there freezing up on him. 19th will go to the 84 of Bryson Barker, and 20th will go to the 56 of Mike Taylor. 21st will go to the 64 of Tony Rice. 22nd, the 75 of Bill Edwards. 23rd will go to the 24 of Clarence Bonner. 24th will go to the 13 of James Zarello, and 25th will go to the 31 of Scotty Zerk. That will do it here for your unofficial race results. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here with your top 3 drivers here in the booth for your post-race show. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with your post-race show, as we're going to get your results up on the ticker so you know where everybody finished here tonight. And, of course, getting a third place here tonight, that was the 33 of Josh Coley, and I believe Chris has caught up with him. So, Chris, we will hand the mic over to you.
Alrighty, thanks, Charles. Hey, Josh, how's it going tonight?
Good, Chris. Glad to be here.
Yeah, looks like you had a good run tonight. You got a third place finish. Once again, I'm seeing you up in the top, 2, 3, running strong as you are always, even in the Northwest Xfinity Series, Truck Series, and the Xfinity Series. You're getting the seat time. You're getting better and better each week. Tonight, it looks like you had a car that was kind of just minding your own business out there and running outside the top 10. And as the race kind of gradually went on, looks like you found yourself up into the top 10 and worked your way up into the top 5, and here you are in third place. So if you want, just give us a little rundown of how your race went tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to start in the back because I wasn't real familiar with the drivers and the cars quite yet. And with the green flag pit stops, I was able to work my way forward without having to race people very hard. And it kind of all just fell into place, and I stayed patient, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, patience is key. Certainly does good. What can you say that's probably different from what you're used to over in the Northwest Xfinity Series? Anything different from this series versus that?
No, not a lot. It's just a whole different group of drivers and people to get used to being around and that kind of thing. So, like you said, I was just kind of trying to mind my own business and not getting no incident points was kind of my goal. So, I think I accomplished that.
I'd certainly say so. And being fixed series here is kind of similar stuff from the Northwest Xfinity Series. So, once again, great finish, third place there. Awesome job. Congratulations on that. And any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank obviously Advanced Synthetic Lubes on the car, and then Racecore. I've been having a blast racing with these guys, so I'm really enjoying that. And there was the Global Building Contractors, I believe it was, on the car. So I'd like to thank both of those guys.
Awesome. Congratulations again. I'm going to hand the mic over to Charles, who's got second place.
I do indeed have Jameer Muhammad here in that number 2 machine. Led 7 laps. You started first, finished in second. Just couldn't quite get up to Sal Casey here tonight. Had a heck of a run, though. A very fast car. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, but Jeff has taken the night off, so you're stuck with me here tonight, which doesn't really have the ring of the Jeff and Jameer show, but we'll just do it the Charles and Jameer. That just sounds weird, but regardless of what the title of the show is, what was that car like there? How was it handling? We know we saw pitting anywhere from 26 laps to 33, 34 laps. So what was your actual fuel window here, and what was this car handling like out there, especially in old versus new tires?
Oh, it was super tight throughout the run. It was probably neutral for like the first 2 laps, and then it just got tight and tight and tight and just got tighter throughout the run. Yeah, I think the fuel window was about 32 laps. Tires, you probably want to do about 30 laps, but the way it worked out with the last caution kind of worked out perfectly for 32 lap runs to the end. So that's what we did up front, and Sal was just phenomenal the entire time. He didn't seem like he made too many mistakes for me to catch up there. He was really fast, especially in the long runs. I think it was the second to last run. He kind of gapped me there for the last 10, 15 laps there, and I just couldn't keep up with him.
Well, definitely was some great racing here. This is Las Vegas. We didn't see too many people really gambling too much. We did see, because, of course, Halloween is coming up and it's trick-or-treating. We did see a little trickery there from you there, trying to get people to pit at that last caution when the race was ending. Again, little trickery going on. I didn't see too much gambling here.
Well, I knew there was 4 cars in the lead lap there, and I actually did not know if we were going to go back to green. And I know there was going to be a 1-lap shootout, so I was kind of debating. I mean, should I just take the chance and go pit road? I really did not know how many caution laps we're going to have there. So I was like, oh, worst case, I pit and we don't go to green, and I finish 4th. But Yeah, I just once I saw Sal stay out, I was like, okay, he probably figured it out that we're not going back to green.
Luckily to have someone in front of you. If not, you may have been on pit road.
I probably would have pitted there. Yeah.
So definitely a good call to stay out. You got second place. We know you got some sponsors and shout outs. So who those be here for that second place finish tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Global Builder Contractors for sponsoring the series and sponsoring my car. Dan Butler Designs and iRacing Drivers World. And a shout out to my wife who's taking care of our son. And shout out to my mom and dad. Yeah, and that's everyone.
All right, again, congrats on the second place. And finishing in first is the 40 of Sal Casey, and I do believe Chris has caught up with him.
I certainly have. Hey, Sal, congratulations on the win. I heard it's your first. Could you give us a good rundown what the race was like from your perspective?
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. First of all, I haven't gone back and looked at it the way that finished there with those lap cars, but hate the way that finished. I kind of waited behind them for a few laps and saved all I needed to save. Jameer was catching me from behind, so it was certainly go time for me. So I got a little impatient and might have misjudged that. I'll have to go back and look at it, but I apologize to Brian. But either way, the rest of the race was certainly solid. I found a line early in practice and clicked for me, and I just kind of stuck with it. So all in all, ended up good for us.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it. It looks like your car was setting sail out there out front, pretty dominant. Didn't seem like anybody could catch you. The 2-car was kind of keeping pace, roughly a second and a half behind you there, but just couldn't do anything better than that. Dominant car. How was the tire wear? Green flags played a big part in that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some tire wear, but like I said, I found a solid line for me that worked really well and stuck to my guts. The short run speed wasn't really there, but I stuck to my guts and just told myself to save the tires. I know they'd come handy in the long run, and certainly did here tonight. Jameer was definitely fast. I knew I'd either be battling Jameer or Mikey. Those guys are always fast every weekend, and to be honest, it's their world and we're just living in it. So got lucky here tonight, I think.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, Mikey kind of misjudged the length of the race tonight and engaged his pit stops off of that. So unfortunately for that, but the fortunate thing for you is you landed in victory lane. So congratulations again, and best of luck going forward. You got any shout outs you want to do, sponsors you want to acknowledge here tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Definitely want to thank Global Building Contractors for putting on this league here, and Dan Butler Designs, he does a heck of a job. Also, iRacing Drivers World, Racecore, and certainly you guys over at Virtual Racing Network. You guys do a heck of a job. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Congratulations again. Back to you, Charles.
All right, that will just about wrap it up here for tonight's race. And it has been a good one. And not to say we aren't looking forward to our break here, as we will have the next 4 days off here from VRN. So we will see you Sunday night. But before we sign off, we want to thank, of course, all the sponsors here for tonight's race, including Dan Butler Designs, Leo's Coney Island, iRacing Drivers World, and Global Building Contractors. And on the broadcast side of things, big shout out to Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, and iBog, who we're about to go talk to hopefully here shortly, as we do have work to do. So that being said, we wish you a safe Halloween. Make sure you check your candy before you eat it. And we will see you at the next broadcast coming up Sunday night with more Racecore, as all the rest of them are off this week.